Hi, my name's Tom Bubb, and this is a video tutorial on scales for the bass guitar. Starting off with one of the best known scales for bass guitar, the C major scale. All the scales I am going to cover are starting on C and are in the key of C, so there's no sharps or flats. With the music I've included on this webpage, you'll see underneath the music little numbers referring to which finger to use. For example, 1 meaning your index finger, 2 meaning this finger, 3, so on and so forth. Now you want to put them one finger per fret. That's the best way to do scales and play anything on bass guitar, really. It means you don't need to stretch as much. Now, when I say you want to play the C with your second finger, you take your second finger, you place it on the C, and for the rest of the music, basically the major scale should sound like this, which is relatively simple. Now the backing tracks I've included can be played. There's a slower one and a faster one. Once you feel you've gained more mastery of the scale, feel free to improvise over them, or at least to just use them to help you keep time. Now moving through the scales, we then go to the minor, again starting on C, however this time you start on the first finger. Now this sounds quite different from the major. It sounds like this. Again, I used the finger per fret technique there. Quite an important, like I said, method for playing bass guitar. Now, moving on, there's now a variation of the natural minor, the C harmonic minor, where the 7th of the scale is sharpened, so it provides a very different feel, and that one sounds like this. Had a slightly more, just a very different feel to the scale altogether. Finally, there's a very different scale altogether. It's called the C melodic minor. Now this scale is quite different, as it goes up as a major scale with the 3rd note of the scale being flattened, but it comes down. When it's on the way down, it is played the same as the natural minor, which is a little confusing. Now you start quite similarly to how you started on the other scales, the minor scales, and this one sounds like this. Now, the useful part of knowing these scales is it enables you to play them with pretty much anything you hear. If something is in the key of C, in the key of C in C, and it's a major piece, for example, you could play something along based on the C major scale. So it's just, I could go over anything as long as it is played in C. Now, the reason behind having the finger per fret technique is you can take these scales and you can translate them to anywhere else on the fretboard as long as you start with the same fingers and use the same technique. So for example, with the major scale, you want to play it using 2nd finger, 4th finger, 1st, 2nd, 4th, 1st, 3rd, 4th, and then in reverse on the way down. Which means if you learn this, like I said, you can just translate the scales from anywhere on the neck. So for example, if you just watch my fingers on my left hand when I play this, you'll understand what it means. So we start with just, again, C major. I'll just do it ascending. Now, to play that as a D major, you just start with your 2nd finger on D. So, C, D. And you play the exact same thing with your fingers. So, just like this. scale, just played in a different key. That's all I can really share on these scales. If you're interested, feel free to try these with the backing tracks I've included. If you feel you get more complicated, if you get better at what you do with the scales, and you can feel free to progress through this page and find my other technical exercises. For example, there's a video on tuning on finger per fret exercises designed to increase to improve the way in which you use your hand on the neck. And there will also be a wee backing track for a blues scale. Again, I will go over the blues scale in another video. It's for improvisation. Right, and there we go.